All right, guys. So I am trying to get rid of this glare that's in the way. I think that's much better. I hope that's much better for you. Anyway, so welcome back to the YouTube channel or wherever it is that you are watching this. You might be watching this on our website, propertymumsacademy.com. Either way, you are welcome. So this is another free video just to talk about the acquisition pillars that we have on property. So, how do we acquire our properties in the first place? Well, obviously, you remember that our program is a program surrounding the strategy of renting, controlling, and monetizing properties that you do not own. So, OPP, other people's property, is what we are talking about. That is what our program is based on. That is what the course is based on. But I want to take a step back just to give you some general information as well, some general knowledge about the acquisition of properties in general. So, how, before we even get to the strategy of monetization, so before we get to the part of making money from these properties, how do we get them in the first place? So, obviously, there's a first option. I say obviously, but it might not be that obvious. The obvious option is what we are doing in our course, which is renting other people's properties, right? But I'm going to come on to that shortly. The first acquisition pillar that we have, or the first acquisition strategy that we have, is joint venture partnership. Now, what does that mean? You probably have never heard me talk about JVs on here, and I'm not going to delve too much into it because JV is a whole beast of its own. Do you know, I absolutely love it when my baby interrupts. She's not such a baby now, but I love it when she interrupts because it helps me to remind you, it reminds me to remind you that this is Property Mums Academy and this is the sole purpose of this platform and of this community that I am building. We are mums first and foremost, okay? We have other roles in our lives, but we're also business women. So whenever you hear her in the background, I love it because it really speaks to what we're doing on this platform. But going back to the topic of our acquisition pillars. So the first acquisition pillar that we have is joint venture. I was just about to say that joint venture partnership is a whole beast on its own. So I'm definitely not going to use this video to delve into that because there's so much that you need to know and it doesn't really concern what our strategy is. Our strategy is a property entry strategy. So we are essentially entering the world of property by using the strategy of renting, controlling, and monetize other people's property, right? That's what we are doing in the first place. So JV partnership is one area of acquisition of a property as part of the ownership strategy, which is not what we are about right now. The second acquisition pillar is of course your own property, the property that you own already, and you might already be using the strategy, you might already be monetizing your second home, your second property, renting it out to other people in order to generate cash flow from it. But that is another option. But don't forget, either way, whatever it is that you're doing, hopefully it falls along the lines of the monetization model of service accommodation or HMO. Okay, if it's something else, do let me know in the comments what it is that you are using your property for. Then the third acquisition pillar, which is directly connected to what we are doing on Property Mums, is that strategy of service accommodation, HMO. But we are getting to those monetization models by renting our properties. So essentially, we are renting from private landlords and we are renting that property on a rent guaranteed basis, right? And that's how we are making our money. And what are we doing? We're doing that for the purposes of generating income from that property over and above the costs of renting the property as well as the bills and expenses that are attached to running that particular accommodation. So that's what we're doing. That's how we are acquiring property under this particular strategy. And as I mentioned to you, obviously our two greatest, highest cash grossing strategy model that we have for these properties is one, service accommodations, so aka Airbnb. So if you've not been on this channel before, the right terminology is actually serviced accommodation. But a lot of people, because Airbnb have built such a strong, amazing brand, as soon as you say Airbnb, no matter where you are around the world, people know what that is straight away. But the first one is service accommodation. Then of course our second strategy for this particular monetization model is the strategy of HMO. So again, this is house of multiple occupancy, another beast on its own, which we're not going to use this video to delve into, but this is what the program is about. This is what the mentorship is about, okay? So if you want to learn more and you want me as your mentor to really delve into this for you, if you are serious to start this as a business, to start creating some extra financial income streams for yourself, for your family, just to relieve some of those financial burdens that we all carry. So maybe the money that you're making for this business, maybe it will be something that you can use for your children, something that will pay off some of the bills that you have coming in. Who knows? Extra money is always good money. And you never know. I always say this, absolutely everything and anything is possible in property. You might even be able to generate enough cash in this business for you to buy your own property. That is certainly where I'm trying to lead you to in the program. So we are starting off with the strategy of renting, and hopefully at some point we are going to end you up at ownership. Obviously that might be a long way away, but I want you to know that that is the goal. Okay, I don't just want to leave you as a renter, even though you are going to be making good money from these properties. I also want you to be able to accumulate enough cash flow in order to become an owner, own a property, and then obviously what you are going to be doing with that property that you own is exactly what you are doing with the rented property now. So you've already acquired the knowledge, the skills, the experience, the tips, the tricks that you need to monetize your own property, because you've already been using other people's property to do exactly the same. So I'm always excited. You can hear it in my voice, but I just wanted to use this video to remind you of our acquisition pillars. Okay, so I hope that's really helpful. Please do share, like, subscribe to the channel, share this video for everybody, or any mums, dads, uncles, sisters, anyone that you have that you feel that they need just their minds opened on how the strategy works. If you are talking to people who need the answer to that age-old question, how do I make more money? How do I make more money? How do I relieve some of these burdens, these financial burdens that doesn't seem to stop, right? The bills don't stop coming in. So we need to find a solution to these things. And for me, this is what changed my life. This is what changed my business, and I want it to change other people's lives too. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on the next one. Bye-bye.